Hey y'all, Scott Emerson here. I'm here to talk to you about the ongoing fiasco with the Big Spring Housing Authority. So let's go back and do a little history. I want to run you through the timeline as quick as I can. In December 2021, due to a complaint from a local manager of a housing addition, Shannon Thomason decided it was time to fire the executive director of the Big Spring Housing Authority and started applying pressure to the existing board to do so. When they refused to do so, he threatened to have them removed, and some of them started resigning. On January 10th, 2022, Shannon held a hearing to remove commissioners. One board member was removed, one board member quit. Sharon Fritz resigns. That finishes out that board, and they had a whole new board. Because Sharon Fritz, the executive director, resigned, they then moved somebody up to be executive director for the interim. Okay, so Shannon adds 2 new members. And then in the February meeting, at that time, the Housing Authority office over on the north side with Crossroads Housing Development, and they had a sweetheart deal, $200 a month. The new board refused to sign either a key holder agreement or a lease, and so they ended up, it escalated crazily. Shannon called the law on the people that own the building, and the people that own the building ended up criminal trespassing the mayor. And so, anyway, the February meeting, the lease blew up. They ended up being evicted. On March the 18th was the eviction hearing, and Shannon and one of the board members' husbands and some city workers moved all the files, illegally I may add, over to 1311 West 4th. Illegally, those records are federal records, and they're treated like HIPAA, like medical and health. So they moved to 1311 West 4th Street. Now, 1311 West 4th Street is the old ABC Park building. Westside Community Center was there for years. For the last decade or so, it's been used as storage. It's a pretty crappy building. City spent $6,000 putting a handicap ramp so the participants of the HUD program could have access. What they neglected to do was remediate the mold, the asbestos, add air conditioning, anything like that. The building was decrepit. They wanted to spend, I think, $90,000 to redo it. We kind of got that stopped because this is a federal program. There's no reason for the city taxpayers to have to pay for this. So in the February meeting, the lease blew up. March 18th, they evicted, they moved over. March 24th, the city contracts the building to be inspected at Sharon Fritz's request. On April the 22nd, now this is a full month after they've been forced to move into this decrepit building and try and do business out of it, the building is inspected, and lo and behold, the black mold and the asbestos is found. The building is uninhabitable. The CO is revoked. Okay, that was April the 22nd. Now, about that time, the election begins. During the election period, Canterbury offered the Big Spring Housing Authority a place to office for free, so they moved over to Canterbury North, and as of right now, are officing out of Canterbury. May 7th is the election. May 7th, Shannon Thomason gets beat and is a lame duck mayor. Lame duck usually means you have no power, you shouldn't probably vote on stuff, you probably shouldn't negotiate any contracts. Most mayors know they're on their way out and don't do any of that. Of course, Shannon didn't do that. So on May the 11th, 4 days after the election, Shannon fills the 2 vacancies that have happened since the March 18th, when they moved the people into, when they moved the Big Spring Housing Authority into 1311 West 4th. A couple of them were board members, the ones that wouldn't sign the keyholder agreement. They got the heck out. They said, this is too stupid, we're out. They got out. So on May the 11th, 4 days after Shannon loses the election, he fills the vacancies left on the board, and he fills them with Linda Blankenberg. Y'all might know her as Linda. You may not know her as Linda Blankenberg. You may know her as Linda Chardine. She was a devout Shannon supporter, and he put her on this board. And Patty Neighbors. I've known Patty a long time. Her husband, who passed away, and I have been friends my whole life. So I've known Patty since she married Paul and moved to town. They get put on the board on May the 11th. They immediately post a 72-hour notice to have a meeting. They did that on May 13th, and on May 16th, they have their first meeting. Now, May 16th is one day before Judge Moore takes over. One day. All right. At this meeting, Melinda steps down as the chairperson, interim chairperson. She was vice chair. Linda Brandenburg, who just got appointed, she takes the chairman's position. Patty Neighbors, who just got appointed, takes the vice chair. Now, at this point, I think this meeting is illegal. First of all, I think it's illegal because they posted 72 hours, including the weekend. But come to find out, that counts. They did that. Where else I think this is illegal is these people came to this board meeting with an agenda. And there's only one way for them to have an agenda, and I don't mean an agenda they needed to follow. I mean they had a plan, okay? And the plan was to fire Diana Yanez. That was part of the plan. And to move the housing authority to Abilene, Texas. Do away with 4 jobs, 100 and nearly 200, 190-something participants in the program would have to go to Abilene to get secure housing. Stuff like that. They came planning to do this. So that means Shannon had to call and coach each one of them, and that's a walking quorum. So if we can get all of those people to admit that they knew what they were coming to do, that's an illegal meeting. They tried to fire Diana Yanez. Now, let's go back. Here's the report on the black mold. I will post pictures of that in the comments. On the May 16th meeting, there was a complaint read against Diana Yanez, and it was writing to inform you of the recent actions taken by one of your employees, Ms. Diana Yanez. As you're aware, Ms. Yanez serves on the Big Spring City Council representing residents of District 2. By virtue of her office, Ms. Yanez has access to certain information and documents of the city of Big Spring that are not available to the general public. This right here. So Sharon Fritz had to do a Freedom of Information request to be able to get this report that said the building that they were working in was condemned. Okay? City didn't offer this to them. They had to go request it. That was all that Shannon's doing. Okay? So he tried to have Diana Yanez fired, and it's on a big City of Big Spring letterhead signed by Shannon, the mayor of Big Spring. Okay? And this was done on May 10th. May 10th? May 10th. When was the election? May 7th. Yeah, this is after he got his ass beat. Okay? Now, that happened at the 16th. They voted to dissolve the Big Spring Housing Authority and move it to Abilene, but they muddled it all up. So none of what they did counts. There's 2 sets of minutes to the meeting because Shannon kept a set of minutes, and so did Sharon Fritz. So there's 2 different minutes to the meeting. On May 17th, the next day, we get a new mayor. Shannon's supposed to fade away into the... No, Shannon doesn't fade away. Muzzles off, he says. That was on May 17th. Well, guess what happens on May 19th? On May 19th, Linda Blankenberg appoints Shannon Thomason secretary and parliamentarian of the Big Spring Housing Authority. Well, that's funny because Sharon Fritz has a contract saying she's executive director. Anyway, 2 days after we get a new mayor, Linda Blankenberg, Linda Chardine on Facebook, appoints her boy to be secretary. And what I don't think she understands is that according to the Texas local board code, which is what? Let me see, what is that board code? What is that called? Section 392.038 of the Texas Local Government Code says the secretary shall act as executive director. Not should, not could, not might, shall. Now, any of y'all know legal, that means must. Okay? So, what Linda basically did right here is give Shannon Thomason a job for the Big Spring Housing Authority to be the executive director, even though the book also states that you cannot be over the housing authority and then go to work for them for at least a year. But they're going to try and pull this. I don't know for what reason, but they're going to try and do this. So Judge Moore gets all upset at all this stupid stuff. So let's see. On June 2nd, he notifies the board members, Linda Blankenberg, Chardine, Patty Neighbors, Willie Rangel. There's a couple more. No, there's not. There's only one more. He is a resident member of the board. Judge notifies them that he is going to remove them from the board. There will be a hearing on, next Monday. So June the 14th or whatever it is, 13th, 12th. All right. That was on June 3rd. June 2nd. The day after they get their letters, this board calls another special meeting for tomorrow at 1311 West 4th Street. The building is condemned. The building, there is no CO. There cannot be a public hearing there. There is mold. There is asbestos. There is no air conditioning. These people are blindly following Shannon and going to end up in lawsuits, what they're going to end up in. They posted an agenda to fire Diana Yanez again, to disband and move the housing authority to Abilene again, to hire Shannon Thomason. They actually are going to have a meeting a week before their hearing that's going to kick them off the board in the first place. A new board will be appointed, and hopefully all this crap can be undone. Now, that may be what Shannon's after in the long run. I don't know. I don't care. I'm tired of this stuff. I'm tired of Shannon. I formally apologize to anyone and everyone for ever helping that man, because he is the most vindictive guy I've ever seen, and this pretty well proves it. After he gets beat, trounced, 79% of the people that voted for Judge Moore. Now, he's going to say, well, yeah, it wasn't a whole lot of people that voted. Well, everyone that voted for Judge Moore, except like 18, 19%. I think there were some undervotes where they wouldn't even vote for him. So on May the 7th, he gets beat, and 4 days later, he fills the vacancies on the board, who then, fills the vacancies on the board. On May 16th, they have a meeting. May 17th, we get a new mayor. May 19th, so from May the 11th to May 19th, 8 days later, the new board member appoints Shannon a job at the agency that she just got put on the board on. This stinks to high heaven of political backhandedness. I can't believe we're going to stand by and allow this to happen. I want to invite everyone at 5:30 to the 1311 West 4th Street. I guess they're going to have a public meeting of the Big Spring Housing Authority Board of Commissioners, the fake ones, okay? They're going to have a meeting in the parking lot because they can't go in the building. So it's going to be real neat to see. I'm sure KVST Media will have it live. Plus, all of this stuff, the hearing that Shannon had in January, these fiasco of board meetings, you really want to have a good joke. Go look at that May 16th meeting on KBST. It is friggin' hilarious. There wasn't a person there that knew what they were supposed to be doing. That's how come they muddled it up so bad that none of the stupid stuff they voted on is going to hold any water in a court. All right? Y'all, 15 minutes of this is long enough. Y'all show up to the meeting, or heck, just show up at ABC Park, pick you a spot in the shade, park and watch this fiasco. KBST will probably have it live on the air or on Facebook. Y'all watch it. Y'all look at it. Somebody somewhere's got to make a movie about this crap. See you later. Apologize again for ever being involved. Sure hope this all works out. Thank you.